All right, guys, welcome back. Today we do have a special guest, Jonathan Glass, coming back with us. Mark wasn't able to make it out today, so John's going to be filling in. We will hear from Mark at time to time. He'll be jumping in, so stay tuned for that. We're going to talk a little bit about OKC last Sunday. We all are going to go also and talk about a little bit of the Timbers 2 coming up on Saturday, so stay tuned for that in just a minute. Alright guys, so welcome back to the Old Glory Red Report, a supporter channel for the supporters by the supporters. Again, we do have Jonathan standing in for Mark today. Welcome back to the show, man. Appreciate you coming out.
Thank you, pleasure.
We did have a lackluster game against OKC.
You could call it that.
I think some people will say it's a point and that's a win. We'll take 4 from the road trip. Some people will say that was a huge loss coming after a couple of really good wins, one at home and one away. What was your take on the game, man?
Overall I wasn't too terribly disappointed. We got to rest a lot of our main starting players, and I think that contributed a lot to the end result. I think if we had our normal lineup, we probably would have eked it out, maybe one or two. We had a lot of changes. Elliot Horde was out. William Bijev was out. And we had some new people back in the back, like Josh Turnley, Shannon Gomez. We've seen them this season, but not to a great extent.
Yeah.
So it's good that they're getting their minutes, but I also think that the team didn't necessarily lack the same cohesion that it has in the past 2 weeks, where we've got some great results. Game was sloppy.
Very sloppy.
But overall, I'm not too disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I'll take a point. It did get us into that locked playoff spot, which is great. But I think we could have won it. But 3 shots on target combined by both teams really tells the story here. It was just a bad game on both parts. OKC did come in a little bit more rest than we were, so I expected to see them doing a little bit better. Like you said, maybe we rested some players. When Bijev's not in there for me, I just don't think we're the same team. Horde wasn't in there like you talked about, and I think he brings a lot to the table. So I just don't think we had the stamina to play this game. It looked like we might have been a little bit tired. Players like Alleman, who've been coming in from injury, didn't really have their best game either. It was just a very, like I said, lackluster game.
And I think that might, like we said, there's that team cohesion. Yeah. I think that may have something to do with it. Also, I've been hearing stuff, maybe the turf had something to do with it. It's that AstroTurf, that fake graph.
The dying AfroTurf.
Yeah. And I just, plus, we'd spent, we just played, 3 days prior?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Spent a lot of time out of town, out of our element. But we didn't do a lot of things that the Republic is usually good at doing. We didn't hold on to possession.
We did not.
And we did not pass well. And in the past couple games, we've also been seeing a lot of really good, clean, crisp passing, especially in the last 18. We didn't see that this time. Cameron Owasa had some good chances. Partain had a beautiful shot, but it was right to the opposing goalkeeper. But thankfully, we've also got Cohen. He kept us in the game. But I don't think it speaks to what we'll look at, coming up in the next few games.
Yeah, no, I think what you talked about the lineup change, that really is what affected the game. We just didn't have the cohesiveness. We didn't play the press is another thing we didn't do that we've been playing very well the last few games. It just didn't come off on this one. So for me, I just think it was a poor one, like you said. We're going to move on from this one. Coming up on Timbers, I think we'll have a much better game. Coming back home. Timbers is going to be one of the tougher teams coming into, though. Before we head on to them, though, if you had to pick a man of the match on this, would you say anyone had a game that stood out? Was there any one player that you said they put an effort in above everybody else?
I mean, I would say there's 3 people who stood out to me above everybody else. Obviously, Josh Carroll, he's my top. He kept us in the game. He had a couple fantastic saves, especially right in the closing minutes of the game. Yeah. He had a great save. I would also say, Cam continued to make chances. He continued to put pressure on their defense. His shot went off the post in the closing seconds of the game, which I think is the last couple games of the plays of the game. And then Partain continued to look good. He continued to I know that long shot went right to the goalkeeper, but he was where he needed to be, doing what he needed to do.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Partain, for me, he was the only one that really stood out. He had a fantastic. He was my man of the match against Tulsa the other day, and I think he came out and had a very good game. He's really fighting to keep that starting position. For me, he was the only standout. Now, Cohen's always up there.
Yes.
If we talked about Cohen every time he did something amazing, these videos would just be called the Cohen Report constantly, saving us clean sheets, saving us points all season.
Yeah.
We are very thankful to Cohen and being the great keeper he is. Moving on a little bit, let's talk about Timbers coming up. Timbers is a team that has been in great form.
Yeah.
I think they've won like 5 out of their last 6. They just drew with Fresno the other day. They are in 5th, 1 point behind us, but 1 game ahead of us. How are you feeling going into this game coming up on Saturday?
I'm feeling very, very confident, especially if we see the lineup that's been getting us the results. This is a lineup that gets 3-0, 4-1 results. I'm very confident with that. Although we do need to be very careful. The Timbers have been scoring a lot of goals. They are doing fantastically well. I would, for most MLS 2 teams, I don't expect them to do fantastically, but the Timbers have defied expectations for me. And, we do need to be at our best to beat them, which thankfully we will be at home at Papa Murphy's Park. And we hope to see you there, by the way.
Yes, very much so. They are a team that spreads the goals around. They do have, like, Lengsdorf, they're the center forward that has quite a few goals. They have goals from the right winger and the left winger. They're a very attacking-minded team. You said it before. They put some balls in the back of the net as of recent. They've had some really good results. They are going to be a dangerous team. They're probably one of the stronger opponents that we come up to before the end of the season, before the regular season. We have Swope Park after that, LA2, and Las Vegas Lights. So I think they're one of the more tough teams. If we can even get a point from them, would you feel like going into the final that's going to get us into the 3rd, 4th place?
I would be moderately happy with getting a point. I think if we get a point or we get a tie, we will finish top 2, maybe, or not top 2, top 3, maybe even top 2. We just need that momentum. Yeah. And I think by beating the good teams, by building our confidence, we're going to continue that momentum. Our boys will be in the right place, and I think that'll, just building on the confidence as we go, will only help.
We'll jump over to Mark for just a minute. He's going to go ahead and give his take on this whole Timbers 2 situation coming up. See what he thinks. We'll come back in just a few minutes with our predictions on who we think is going to win this one and a little bit more before we head out. See you in a second.
How's it going, everybody? Mark Anthony here. I'm going to give you a little pre-match of Timbers 2 coming to Papa Murphy's Park this Saturday to play, of course, Sacramento Republic FC. And there's 3 things that you need to know about this match heading into Saturday's game. Sacramento currently sits at 4th place right now. Timbers 2 right on our heels, 1 point behind in 5th. Crucial matchup as we have 4 games left for SRFC. It'll be 3 games left after this Saturday's game. So with that being said, home field advantage is in the balance right now. Republic sitting in 4th. That is the end of the first of the top 8. The top 4 will get home games to start the playoffs. And of course, we want at least 1 home playoff game as we march into the postseason. So this game, obviously, not only is it a possible playoff matchup, we could see these 2 teams playing each other in just a couple weeks, but home field advantage is certainly on the table here. Timbers only has 3 games left, so if they lose this game and they fall behind 4 points to Sacramento Republic, it's almost a guarantee that we will have a first-round home matchup. So the second thing you need to know about this Saturday's game, Timbers are playing extremely well. They are one of the best teams in the USL over the last couple months. They are 6 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws in their last 10 games. 3-1-1 in their last 5. The 2 losses that they've had in their last 10 have come to Orange County and Phoenix Rising, 2 of the top teams, actually the 2 top teams currently in the Western Conference. So they're not losing to teams that they shouldn't be. Their last game that they played, they did draw to Fresno. They were winning that game 2-0. They gave up 2 goals, 1 in added time. So I know they're feeling a bit disappointed on that result, but regardless, they still got a draw. They are still playing extremely well. The third thing that you need to know about Timbers FC heading into this Saturday's game is they are scoring goals in abundance. June 30th, that was a long time ago, I feel like. That was about when my birthday was. That was the last time that Timbers 2 has been shut out. They're averaging 2.2 goals a game since that time. I mean, even in their losses, they're scoring goals. Haven't been shut out in near, July. Almost 3 months they've gone without having a game where they didn't score. So that is very impressive, and it lets you know that the guys will have their hands full, with Timbers 2 this Saturday. Of course, remember that game is at 7:30 as well, not 8 o'clock. The game times have been moved to the normal 7:30 time slot, so be prepared for that. All right, so let's move on to the 3 keys of the game for Republic FC. Stopping the potent attack of Timbers 2 is first and foremost. This team, Timbers, I just told you about how many goals this team is putting away the last time they were shut out. They have 4 players. Their front 4 is very explosive. Foster Langsdorff leads their team with 14 goals. He'll be the man up top. He'll be quite a handful. Most of his goals are coming from inside the box, getting on the end of passes from Loria, who is their attacking central midfielder. He has 7 assists for them. He has created about 52 chances for them this season. One of the best attacking presences that we have in the USL. So keep an eye on him to be kind of being the playmaker in the middle of the field. But beyond that, we are looking at Aspria and Barmby on the wings. Those 2 players have gone up and down from the first team to the second team. They will look to get behind. They will look to strike, on counterattack. So those 4 players are going to be crucial that Republic FC knows where they are and has them in their thoughts the entire game. Remember, this team loves to counterattack. So we just have to make sure that we're aware in that regard. So the second one is scoring first. That is obviously something you always want to do in this game that we love. But this game, I feel like it's especially important because you don't want to play Timbers 2 from behind. You'd actually want to get the lead on them and hold possession. They do not possess the ball that much. They are willing to concede possession. So, when you're a counterattacking team and you don't have the ball and the team that you're losing against is just knocking it around, they're playing with patience, they're making you chase. It's not exactly what you want. When you're a counterattacking team, you want to strike first and then you want to strike again, looking for those opportune times. So that's the second one. Score first, big one in this game. The third one, I mentioned it a little bit before, their counterattack. We must stop the counterattack. Again, this team loves to concede possession. They look to strike quickly down the wings. So guys like Elliot Horde, Shannon Gomez, they need to be careful when they go high up the pitch that they can retain their defensive responsibilities. A guy like Jeremy Hall is going to be crucial in this game because he will be needed to cut out some of those passes by Loria, either going wide or going, through behind the defenders. If it's Tainer and Clementa back there, they will definitely have their hands full with Foster Langsdorff, but it will be crucial that a guy like Jeremy Hall can stop a counterattack through the middle and, those balls that Loria would like to play in behind the defenders. So stopping the counterattack is the third key to this big match Saturday. So Republic did play Timbers 2 earlier in this year. It was a road game. They did lose 2-0 on the road there, but this game being at home, this playoff type atmosphere that I expect on Saturday, with the goals that Timbers have been scoring and Republic have been scoring goals too, I see there's going to be goals in this game. I'd say at least 4 goals are going to be scored. I'm going to go on a limb and say 3-2. Republic win in a up and down, free-flowing game. I see a guy like Awasa getting a goal or two. And maybe another guy, Bijev. I know he'll be up for this game. He could definitely get in there. Partain, just named USL Team of the Week, had a great week in Oklahoma. So maybe he gets on the score sheet again. We'll see. But we'd love to hear your thoughts. Please let us know what you think the score will be. Share this video. I know there's going to be a lot of fans out there Saturday. It's a big match. Let's get everybody informed on what to look for and what to expect from Timbers 2. Hit subscribe below if you haven't yet. Smash that bell so any notifications on our videos, you don't gotta go look for our videos. They'll just go directly to your phone, directly to your laptop. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Again, thank you guys for supporting. We'll love to see you guys on Saturday. It's going to be an awesome game. Should be a fun atmosphere. We'll see you then.
All right, so that was Mark's take on all that. We'll jump into it. What's your prediction for this game?
I think it's going to be a really hard-fought game. I think both defenses are going to play really hard. They're going to make it difficult for the opposition. I think we win 1-0, and I think Cam also gets the goal.
Wow,
For his 15th, I believe, on the year.
Yeah, and even higher all-time leading goal scorer.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's going to be a very tough-fought game. I hope we have Clemente back at his full potential.
Yes.
I hope we don't see the mistakes that we've seen of him late. I hope Horde's back in there. Gomez has been doing really well. Tainter partner with him. If we can get that back line that we've seen that did really well in the last few games back in there, I think we'll keep it tight. I personally think it's going to be a draw. I see Timbers putting it in the back of the end as well. I'm going with the 1-1. Mark probably dropped his prediction up there. You guys drop your predictions down below in the comments. Let us know who you think is going to win this next game. We only have a few games left, so go ahead and just give us the results, what you think for the rest of the season if you want to down below. I think after this game we should have a pretty good time for the rest of them. So the big news, though, that we need to kind of address just for a little bit is the change in the league and its new pretty names and design.
Yeah.
What do you think of this whole championship, League One, League Two's format?
I think it's smart, and I think it's good to model after successful leagues across the sea. I think it adds not only it's basically a statement. This is what we want. We're building towards having competitive lower leagues that feed into our upper leagues and ultimately feed into the U.S. soccer.
Yeah.
USL stated explicitly it wants to be one of the keys to success in U.S. soccer. And I think that this is a really good and important building block into doing that, making sure we've got a supporting divisions under the USL. And I know a lot of people aren't big fans of the MLS, but if we want successful U.S. soccer, ultimately we do need to end up supporting the MLS, as they are our premier league.
Hopefully this pushes for MLS to reconsider some of their standpoints on what's going. But like you said, I'm a big fan of the changes. I like the names, it is whatever. The names aren't as what's important to me. It's what the new structuring stands for, in my opinion. And I really think it shows a forward-thinking mindset to the way soccer's played here in the United States. And I don't think there's a problem with following the English League, Bundesliga, and other countries that have set up successful soccer leagues or football leagues around the world. I think it's very important for us to develop youth in the right way, especially if we want our United's men's soccer team and our women's soccer team to keep progressing and keep challenging. We need youth to be a very high point. This does maybe set up Pro-Rel. It's not yet. That's not something that they've came out and stated, but it's something that's very highly speculated. Yeah. And I'm for Pro-Rel, but I'm not pushing for it either. I think this league's going to take time before Pro-Rel is going to be a thing. You have to let some of the younger teams, especially the League One, League Two teams that are just settling in, come in, maybe drop some of the two teams down. I think that's their plan, is to drop the two teams down to League One instead of being in the championship. So I think that'll drive competition in the championship league. So in my opinion, those are the positives I see from it. Regardless of what you're calling things and all that, it's a good structure.
Yeah, I agree. And as the teams go, I want to actually go back to the Republic on this. When, every year the Republic has held these, tryouts. It also has its youth teams, which helped, and we've even seen some signings from youth players.
Yeah.
And we've had, successful tryouts, Emma Clementa being the standout. We are building locally a very important and successful soccer community, especially as it comes to young players and what they're seeing. I know the Republic has some form of relationship with another a local development club, San Juan Soccer Club.
Yeah.
We've got these things, and as more teams come, especially in the lower divisions, you're going to see this more. You're going to see more development, more academies, more emphasis on getting the youth involved. And I think that's absolutely vital, and one of the best things that the USL could be doing for U.S. soccer. One of the other things I'm also potentially excited about is I'm hearing rumors about a potential new cup competition.
That would be great.
I've been very, very much wanting another cup competition other than the U.S. Open Cup.
Which the final was tonight. As we're recording this, we will find out who won the U.S. Open Cup, but side point.
Yes. So ultimately, there's a lot of exciting potential, and hopefully, the USL's done a fantastic job at building its leagues, and hopefully we see that continue.
Yeah, I agree. Step in the right direction. Glad to see USL trying to pushing MLS maybe in the future to reevaluate its stance on what it's doing. So only good things, but it's only baby steps as well. We can't get too excited about too much. This is a very small step in a long process to changing the way the United States looks at soccer.
Yeah.
So put your comments below what you think of that. We'll come back with more on this topic. It's something that I know we're going to address in future podcasts. It's something we're going to address in future videos. So talk about it. Let us know. Put the comments below. Thanks, Jonathan, for coming out.
Pleasure.
We're definitely
Pleasure.
hoping we'll have you more on. If you guys want to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, it's the Old Glory Red Report on Facebook, Old Glory Red on Twitter. Follow us there. Jonathan's Facebook will be down below when I put our names down there, so look down there. We appreciate you guys watching, and until next time, later.
Thank you.